I am Femi OK, and you are in the stream. Today, we're talking and singing soca music. If you're not familiar with the unique blend of East Indian and African rhythms that's been making waves around the world, you're in for a treat.
I'm Malika Bilal. Our guest today is soca royalty, Trinidadian singer and songwriter Nailah Blackman. As always, I'll be looking out for your comments live on YouTube, so send them my way. And we've already heard from numerous soca fans from around the world sharing some of their favorite lyrics from Nailah's songs. Take a look.
Oh Lord, oi, he get it that's yeah. Oh Lord, oi, he get it that's yeah. That man already.
That man already.
Watch it come for me.
Watch it come for me.
Bring the sugar cane.
Bring the sugar
He
cane.
get it that's yeah.
Upon no man to see what gal he did with. He better be a boom boom fly, 'cause this here body they fit.
Give it to me that workout. Give it to me that love. Give it to me that workout. Give it to me that love.
Baila, mami, mami. Baila, mami, mami. Baila, baila.
Nailah Blackman is
Hi.
in the house and in good voice. You're going to hear
Thank
more
you.
of her live singing in a moment. But first, what you were singing,
Yes.
what those little clips were singing, that was soca music.
Yes, it is.
If people were just listening right now and thinking, what is that? What would you say?
I would say this is the blend of East Indian and African rhythm, and this is Trinbago. Yes.
There's so much more to it than just blending and fusion. We have
course.
lots of music that does that around
Yes.
the world.
Yeah,
but there's a particular story to how this happened.
Yeah,
And
there
your
is.
family is part of that story.
They're definitely very instrumental. My grandfather is the late great Ras Shorty, also known as Lord Shorty, and he was the one that started soca music. In Trinidad and in the Caribbean, before there was soca, there was calypso. And he felt like there was a divide between the East Indian and the Africans living in Trinidad, and he wanted a music for them to be one, so that we would no longer be Indian and African, but we would be Trinidadian and Trinbagonian. And that was really how soca, the thoughts about it started, you know what I mean? He was part of, his mom was a Dogla, which is a mixture between Indian and African, and his grandfather was an Indian man, but he was seen as a black boy. So growing up in an East Indian village, he faced a lot of racial discrimination because of his color and because of what he looked like, but he was part Indian. So he always wanted to connect the two so that there wouldn't be this divide anymore. And after so many years of experimenting with music, because he was a calypsonian first, he decided that he was gonna make soca. Yeah. And that's where it started.
And it is resonating and has resonated. So we got several tweets about people's appreciation for the music and of course also for the history and how it came to be. This is Trinell, who's picking up on that idea of it uniting groups of people. She says, I think soca is the dance hall of calypso. I believe it was created to be a band-aid to the knife wound of racial tension and racism. It is usually sufficient for the duration of the songs or season, but that's about as effective as it gets. So even though she seems to like the idea of it healing racial tensions, she says it's a certain part of year that happens. Would you
Yeah.
push back against that? Would you agree?
I definitely do agree, because I believe that we always like to have the idea of being united, and we definitely are around Carnival time. We have this festival in Trinidad and the Caribbean called Carnival. It started in Trinidad, and that's really where people feel, because soca drives carnival. Soca is what makes carnival carnival. And at that point in time, it doesn't matter who you are. You could be a vagrant on the street. Somebody is gonna love you. Somebody's gonna make you feel amazing, because we're just loving each other. That's a special time of the year, you know? And it's sad, but soca shines at that point in time, and then as the year goes by, it dies, and so does the love. You know, so does the appreciation for one another, and that unity attitude. It goes away, you know.
I want to show a picture of you with your granddad, Lord Shorty here. I'm not sure who looks more surprised, you or your granddad.
I probably was just finished crying.
Oh, he means a lot to you, so much so that you put him on the top of one of your videos. Why did you do that?
Because of the history of the music. I would always say, it's very sad, but I think I live in a society where we have amnesia. People forget. People don't like to give respect where respect is due. And he has worked so hard and fought so hard to create something. And yes, people know that he was the one to start it, but they don't always give him the credit. And I feel like I wanted to remind them where it all comes from, because I mean, we have so much culture coming out of Trinidad and Tobago. I mean, we have carnival, we have the steel pan, that's our national instrument. It was created right there in Trinidad and Tobago, this tiny twin islands, these tiny twin islands right off of Venezuela, the end of the Caribbean.
You're almost doing a humble brag, but more of a brag here.
And it's like, we have Calypso. Calypso was created right in Trinidad. We have soca music, and we are not taught these things in school. We are not taught our culture enough, and I wanted people to know. I think that there's not a lot of young people in soca music, so young people don't connect as much. Well, I thought so, because when I was younger, I didn't connect as much because there wasn't anybody my age doing it and doing it big and well. So I felt like, how are the younger ones going to know about the history, about what we have? So I thought it was so important for them to know their culture, know their history, and know, like, you know what I mean? So that's why I felt the need to show them what exactly soca meant, because people hear soca music and it's like, oh, let's party, let's have a good time, but it's more than that.
So much more.
It's
Which
so
is
much
why you
more.
put your granddad on the top of one of your videos.
Yes.
And I can tell it's an old VHS tape, because there's a little wriggle in the tape.
Yeah.
Let's have a listen to what Lord Shorty, how he described soca music.
Soca is a combination of East Indian and African rhythm. The purpose of soca in the 70s, as a matter of fact, is about anywhere around 69 to 70. But the purpose was to bring the East Indian and the Africans in Trinidad together. So there was a combination of the two main rhythmic structures in Trinidad to create a song that would be totally Trinidadian. Let us call it a Dougla rhythm, so to speak.
So that was Lord Shorty. Malika, what do you have?
So it's because of Lord Shorty and his relation to you, of course, he's your grandfather, that we got tweets like this from Emma Clark, who says, "She is soca royalty, as she should be regarded. Her family, like the Marleys in Jamaica, are recognized for their national cultural contribution." But he goes on to say something that you mentioned earlier about being a young voice. He says, "I love soca, and Nailah Blackman is a critical voice of a cast of young voices who blend now traditional calypso expressions and current global music trends with a global Caribbean aesthetic. Further, as a female, she's in a lane of her own." That's it's a weighty thing, but do you see yourself as that young voice who is mixing those two things where no one else is?
I definitely think so, because I think that the problem with the youths, and it's a problem, but it's actually not a problem at the same time, is that we are looking for examples, and the examples that we have, it's not necessarily, we don't know how to recreate it. We don't know how to make it brand new again. We don't know how to make it trendy, like what is happening now. And it's like we hear the same thing over and over and over. And I was just tired of that. I love soca music, and I'm just like, why can't I hear something different? Why does it sound like the same old song again? You know? So I felt the need to do that. And I think that now that's inspiring more young people to have their voice and understand that my voice doesn't need to be just like the voices before. It can be completely different, and I can still get through, as we say, get through. Yeah.
And that is a perfect transition for us, because you say you are not the same old sound. Nailah is going to play a song for us that really brought you into the spotlight. It's a 2017 collaboration with musician Kes called Workout. And while Nailah prepares for her acoustic version of the hit, have a listen to this video comment from Richard Ramsundar, who's a soca analyst and a vlogger on diversity within soca music and the way it's been embraced across the islands and the world.
I'm always amazed to see how different islands and different types of people from all over the world create their own type of sound with soca music. For example, here in St. Lucia, they have Lucian Kuduro or Dennery segments. In Guyana, they have their own type of soca. Same thing in Barbados, they have soca music just for crop over. Grenada has music just for spice mass. And St. Vincent, they have their own unique sound for Vinci mass. And all the way in Japan, Japanese soca artists make their own soca music with Japanese lyrics for their carnival as well. So it's incredible to see the amount of diversity that comes from soca music.
Show me that you're not lazy. Ooh, lady, that body driving me crazy. Gym body, not give it to nobody. Oh, gym body, original them got photocopy. You know we never over. You send me loca. How I love you, giving me pressure. Love never sober. We dancing in soca. Ride your life from, and you know we end up going low, lower, low, 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 lower, low, 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 lower, until we end up on the ground, lower, low, 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 lower, low, 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 lower. Love thing, baby. Them and them shaky. Ooh, lately looking at you is amazing. Gym body. Now give it to nobody. Oh, gym body. Original them got photocopy you. We never over. You send me loca. Oh, why you love. You giving me pressure. Love never sober. We dancing in soca. Ride your light from, and you know we end up on the ground. Lower, low, 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 lower, low, 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 lower, until we end up on the ground. Lower, low, 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 lower, low, 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 lower. Until we end up on the ground. Lower, low, 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 lower, low, 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 lower. Until we end up on the ground. And you know we end up on the ground.
Woo! Multiplied by 1,000 claps. You are watching Al Jazeera right now. By the way, and that is Nailah Blackman.
People online know it. Lots of YouTube and tweets coming in. So Amalkar says Nailah Blackman will be remembered for having a guitar, singing live, performing in local cafes and bars to create room to define her voice, presence, and individuality. No cakewalk. She earned her keep. Enough respect. Someone else watching live on YouTube writes in a question for you. Does she feel that women in soca face certain obstacles that her male counterparts don't?
I definitely think so. Soca is a male-dominated industry. I'm actually the first woman in about I could say a decade, 10 years to break through fully in soca. And it's because it's so hard, the things that women have to go through, because our culture, where carnival is concerned, and music in general, it's very over-sexualized, and women feel the pressure to have to do that to get somewhere. And it's not fair, and a lot of men take advantage of that, and a lot of women are not strong enough to deal with that. And some are. We definitely have amazing women doing it right now. But it's very unfortunate that we would have to go through something like that. But a lot of girls have to deal with just fight to play their music, or to do things in exchange to get publicity, and it's not fair, but it's how women are treated in this industry.
Sure. I mean, one of the women who's out there doing it is your mum. Definitely. Your entire family are musicians.
Yes.
You kind of had to be a musician, even if you resisted. I want to show a little bit of Abby Blackman. This is Nailah's mum.
Red, white, and black, flying in the sky. When we fall, we don't stay down. I live in here, it's here that I love and belong. And in the band, ringing the wall over. That's a saying, come. Remember, it's we who invented soca strong.
Ooh, soca strong there. Oh my goodness, what a powerful role model. See, your mum is doing that.
Yes.
But the way that you put your music videos together, the lyrics are very powerful, but also the visuals are very powerful. I'm trying to think of how I say you are smart, hot, and sexy.
Thank you.
But you were just complaining about the way women are seen in soca.
Yes.
But you are also incredibly sensuous in the way that you present yourself.
Yes.
Is that not is there an irony in that, or what are you trying to do?
The thing about it is that I am naturally that way, as I've always been, but a lot of women are not, and they feel the need to have to be that way.
Okay.
You know?
Okay. So this gives you an idea of what your usual videos look like.
Definitely.
What are you singing here?
Olado, it's an expression that we say in the Caribbean. It's like, oh gosh, like, oh my Lord. You know, it's just like a sigh of relief, you know what I mean? Olado.
So a question here, keeping that in mind, this is from Safia, who's really excited we're doing this show. Safia says, what does she have to say to the critics who disapprove of her style in soca music?
What do I have to say to the critics that disapprove of my style in soca music? Well, you know, I really don't pay attention to the negativity because there's so much positivity coming at me. I mean, I'm here today, you know what I mean? So I don't pay attention to it, but I think that a lot of people are not comfortable. It makes them very uncomfortable. Change. They're not comfortable with change because it's not traditional and it's not the way it's been done before. They feel uncomfortable and it makes them, you know, they would say things to want it to be the same way. And this is the sort of fight that my grandfather got when he had created soca music, because what was known and what was done was calypso, and that was social commentary, and it was a lot slower, and it wasn't like soca. So calypso was very different, and people shunned him for trying to change it, and he got a lot of bash for it. But then, how much ever years later, it's like the biggest thing ever. So I watch that, and I watch a lot of people that go through similar situations in the world, and I say that if you ain't have no haters, you ain't popping.
It's great. We're going to
quote you.
3, 2, 1, and now it's tweeted out. All right. Okay, great. One of the things about where you come from, Trinidad and Tobago, is that we see it as, like here, it's beautiful, it's stunning, people enjoy carnival, but then you take the music form of soca and then you talk about some very serious issues. And that is a challenge for a lot of people because it's so happy, the music style is, and you want to dance to it, and then you hit them with big boned black grown. So own yourself
Yes.
and own your blackness. And how do you make that work for people? How does that resonate with people?
I think it resonates really well because not just in the Caribbean, I mean all over the world, I feel like racism is a problem, and discrimination in general is a problem, and there's this idea of beauty, and if girls don't fit in that, then they feel insecure, and there's a lot of weighing on your shoulder. And I wanted to tell girls, it doesn't matter how you look, you should understand that you are beautiful. It doesn't matter the color of your skin, it doesn't matter what size, or if you're small, big, extra big, it doesn't matter. Like, you are beautiful in yourself because you are you. So thick grown, black boned, like, you know, people highlight the red bones, the yellow bones, the every bone, but where's my black bone girls, you know what I mean? So I thought it was important, me as a black bone girl, to say, you know, yeah.
Which is why we got a comment like this on YouTube. Napash says, Soca tells stories of our struggle as well, not just the partying. So Nailah, we have to pause you there. And to our community, we'll see you online. And Nailah will play us out, joined by DJ Spice for a mashup of two of her hit songs, Baila Mami and Soca. But first, have a listen to Trinidadian journalist Soyini Gray explain what makes Nailah and her music so unique.
What I think really significant about Nailah is her voice. Like, when she came out, there was a lot of conversation about how unusual her voice is, and the fact that she's been able to find success in such an exclusive genre. The international success, I think, is really, really good. I don't think it's as important. I think authenticity and being able to have your own voice in this cultural genre and finding your own success would be the lesson of Nailah Blackman.
Party, I wanna up on a yardie. Watch me dancing on you. Music like a lot of down now. How do we ace so I get low? I know you want me and you act so. Wine fast, wine slow. And the man say, girl, like your bad so. Daba the fuego. Lava you drop low. You set the place on fire. Baila, mami, mami. Baila, mami, mami. Baila. Broke. Take it slow, no rush. We ain't leaving till the morning. Fire for me body. Broke, break it up. For me body. Fire for me. This is Team Soca. It's Nailah. I'm saying bro, Soca. It's like girls gone wild. I go get my grill on. Hard as ice and sparkling gold. I'm in a tropical paradise I call home. It's like an alpha and omega, Trinidad to Vega. When I see my people dancing, all I hear is soca. All day long, not gonna leave you for nothing. All day long, ping pong 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 pong. Hey, ping pong 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 pong. Hey, ping 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 ping. What? Somebody say soca till I die. Somebody say soca, give me life. Somebody say soca, so loud. No about anything but soca, soca, soca. Look there, grills on, wild out, go ground. Soca, girls go lower, lower. Scotia playing soca. Know that we got soca. I can't even sleep 'cause rhythm banging in me brain like it them taking over me whole system. How it sounding sweet, so play all day long. Not gonna leave you for nothing. All day long. Not gonna play for we popping. Bing bang bong bang bong. Bing bang bong bang bong. Bing bang 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 bang. What? Somebody say Scotia,